Welcome to Panda Academy. In this video, I will explain how I completed the Gauntlet campaign to get my free loot box, despite never playing hardcore normally, nor playing a meta build. The flow of the video is as follows. General advice, getting items in SSF, picking a build, my build guide. Feel free to skip to whatever section you want to hear. Tip number 1. Read the area modifiers ahead of time and predict what you can. These are all posted before the event begins. For example, in this Gauntlet, in area levels from 1 to 45, monsters fire 2 additional projectiles. What I can predict is that monsters with AoE projectiles will be extremely deadly. I can be on high alert for enemies fitting that description, like cannibals that throw exploding fire in the coast, undying alchemists in the sewers, and Doedry in Act 4. Another thing to note is what area level the mods change at. In this Gauntlet, area levels 46 to 67 give monsters 30% physical damage as extra chaos. This happens just after you lose 30% resistance from killing Kitava in Act 5. Therefore, I should farm in Act 5 until I have enough chaos resist to withstand the very sudden damage increase. Tip number 2. Spoil the surprise. I didn't follow this advice, but I do recommend it. Remember, our goal is just to finish the race and get our loot box. I recommend watching a streamer do their run first, either live or in their VODs. You can watch the mechanics of boss fights that have been changed in order to avoid unwelcome surprises. Their live commentary may also warn the audience that a certain monster is dangerous, that they may not expect, and how to defeat it safely. One example is the spider boss in the Weaver's Chambers in Act 2. The boss has a ranged attack that can shotgun, especially with added projectiles, and can lead to a very unexpected one-shot. However, the Weaver will only use this attack if not in melee range, so you can avoid the one-shot by hugging the boss. Information like this is often brought up by live streamers as they come across it to benefit the audience. Tip number 3. Do not forget the most overpowered ability in the game, also known as pressing pause. Some hardcore purists may say this is cheating. To them I say, I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the animation sounds from this loot box opening. If you've messed up or are encountering lag, press escape, exit to menu. Simple as that. Join the area again using the grace period and wait for the danger to pass. Tip number 4. If you ever feel like an extra level or 2 will give you really important skill points, or maybe you need to upgrade an item before moving on, do not be ashamed of farming a lower level area. If you die, that's it. It's back to the start. So get your needed upgrade or level safely first before moving on. You will get an experience penalty if the area level is too low, so check the PoE wiki table to see what the safe zone is. Although you can still level at a reasonable pace even with experience penalties, so being a few levels out of the safe zone is okay too. These are places I would recommend for farming in each act. Pause the video here to see the list. There are item and crafting tutorial videos already out there, but here is a basic rundown of my thought process. I prioritize item modifiers in this order. Item base. If I'm building armor, I will pick up and craft on armor bases. If I need int from my amulet or chaos resist from my ring, those bases will be chosen. Resists. It's important to max elemental as soon as possible and get enough chaos to not be killed by chaos damage mobs. Having cold resist rings for Mervale in Act 1 is very important. HP. This is a stat that slowly gets upgraded over time after you've already maxed your resists. Defenses. Armor, evasion, and energy shield are the dessert you get to enjoy after you've eaten all your vegetables. Note that if your build is CI or primarily energy shield, then energy shield is as important as HP. So how do I get the mods I want? Well, first, I pick up a rare item that has the base I want. In this case, armor. I use a Scroll of Wisdom. Then, press Alt to see extra info. Each rare item can have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. If it has an open suffix spot, it means I can craft a resist on it. If it has an open prefix, it means I can craft HP, defense, or damage on a jewelry. Or, let's say I need to force an item base that isn't dropping rare. I need to make it myself from white. Okay, say I need int for my build. I can just buy a white base from the vendor. Now let's say I need fire resist as well on it. Then I can use an alchemy or essence to make it rare. If the result is bad, I can use a chaos orb to reroll it, or use scouring to make it white, and then alchemy to make it rare, and repeat the process. I do this until either I hit fire resist by luck, or I have an open suffix so I can use the crafting bench. Don't forget, you can also gamble for items using gold. I personally found great upgrades just from gambling. You have 3 choices. Number 1, make your own build. I only recommend this for people with experience making their own builds work. The Gauntlet is not friendly for testing untested builds. Number 2, find a pro racer or streamer you like and follow one of their build guides. They are the pros, so the build will probably be good. Some may have complicated mechanics, but many of them make guides with less experienced people in mind. Number 3, follow my build, which I'll explain at the end of the video. I do not recommend this choice. The build is not meta, and I am not a pro. However, it got the job done for me, and I did finish the campaign. For any build you choose, remember, our goal is to finish the campaign. This means that your final tree is only going to be maybe level 75 at most, but you cannot rely on that late of a power spike. You need to power spike early, with each point afterwards just being icing on the cake. Even making it to the first ascendancy can be a real challenge, so don't front-load your power into your ascendancy either. First, let me tell you the cons of my build. 1, it has low damage compared to meta builds. 2, it is melee, so you don't get the added safety of being at a range. 3, it probably won't scale very far past the campaign, though I have not tested this theory yet. The reason I did this build is, 1, I wanted to make my own build. 2, I like strike skills and don't care about meta. 3, out of all of my terrible ideas, it was the first one on the list. It just so happened to work extremely well for me. This Gauntlet happened to use alternate ascendancies from the Frisia League. However, the core idea of this build doesn't require an ascendancy to work at all, so it should be viable in any Gauntlet. You just have to be a duelist and have 46 skill points, which can be done by around level 40. The idea is to max block and spell block while dual wielding as fast as possible. The block mastery, giving you life and mana on block, is the icing on the cake to make you incredibly tanky just from your tree without an ascendancy at level 40. Other important defensive nodes to focus on include increasing max resistances from Prismatic Skin or Nomadic Teachings, then having access to Protection Mastery. Elemental resistances cannot be lowered by curses. This can help if you're not overcapped. Soul of Steel is also an amazing node since we are full armor. Then the Armor Mastery can give us an additional point to max resists. Taking the Mana Mastery here can allow you to fit an extra defensive aura in your build, such as Arctic Armor. For defensive skill gems, defensive auras to use include Purity of Elements or Determination, Flesh and Stone, and if you can get a reduced reservation mana mastery later, Arctic Armor. Other defensive setups include Summon Stone Golem with minion life and meat shield, as well as an automation setup using Molten Shell and Convocation, which helps keep your golem alive. I do not know if mercenaries will stay in the game, but I would recommend finding a mercenary that can give you both the determination and vitality auras. Onto items. Every slot should be armor-based. Armor Evasion Hybrid is not bad for early game, but it is best to focus on armor for late game. If you can only find good items that are armor and evasion, that's okay. Just grab Iron Reflexes and convert the evasion rating to armor. You will need to find int wherever you can. The most obvious place is in your amulet, but if you can find it elsewhere too, that's great. This is to allow you to use better claws and higher level int gems like Elemental Weakness. Your offensive options. I'm sure that a variety of skills can be used with this setup. If you like a certain skill, you can probably make it work if you try hard enough. I will just explain Elemental Hit in this video because that is what I used. Elemental Hit gives quality of life in two ways. One, it has built-in splash/AoE. Two, it does not care about the damage on your weapon, so it is very easy to itemize. Here are my offensive nodes. Elemental Equilibrium, which works because Elemental Hit always chooses a different element. Resolute Technique, because our accuracy is fairly low and we don't care about crit scaling in the campaign. Ambidexterity, because yes. Veteran's Wrath, although if you just want to take 1 point in rage on hit early on, it can be really helpful for boss damage. Lastly, and this is the most important node, Assured Strike. With the attack mastery, strike skills target one additional nearby enemy. Get this as soon as you can. It makes strike skills feel so good to play by adding range and letting you misclick and still be able to do damage. It also really improves clear speed. As soon as you can. If your strike skill does not have built-in AoE, then take Tribal Fury instead and get the attack mastery from there. If you have mana problems, here are possible solutions. Spirit Void, and then later just the life and mana leech node when your damage is high enough. I started with this, but I felt it took too many nodes to get there, so I changed my plan. I then used Mana Flows and a low-level Clarity gem. You may also need Revelry and Reduced Mana Reservation to run this setup. Once you find Mana Sustain from your gear, you can drop the Clarity and add Arctic Armor. Or you could try running Clarity with Arrogance, but losing effective HP is always a risk. The last solution is very simple, but you can always use Double Claws, which have built-in mana gain on hit. For links, I use Trinity support, which is always active, elemental damage with attacks, and multi-strike. Keep in mind that multi-strike actually reduces mana cost by a lot because the second and third attacks become free. For our curse, we use elemental weakness because we hit with all 3 elements. I then use dash for dodging, and whirling blades with faster attacks for movement, adding on culling strike to finish off bosses. The way to get your claws is incredibly easy. Find a claw with the base type you want. Generally, you want these bases as they have the highest base attack speed and give life on hit. However, using a double claw is also okay if you need the mana. Find a claw that has attack speed on it and an open prefix. This can be done from scratch using the methods described earlier in this video. Then you can craft increased elemental damage with attacks. That's it. For upgrading, you can look for claws that also add elemental damage to attacks, but attack speed and increased elemental damage with attacks are the 2 primary stats to focus on to get started with. If you have no problems with resists, then you can get more damage by crafting on your rings, amulet, and belt. If they have an open prefix, you can craft increased elemental damage with attacks. I will link the full build of my actual character that finished the campaign in the description below. My hope is that people who think that the Gauntlet is too hard for them to attempt can watch this video and think, if this panda made it through, then maybe they can too. And if this video helps even one person in the community, I consider it a success. That's it for me. Again, you can find me on Twitch at Pandacademy, where you can always ask questions and become my friend. I will end the video with some clips showcasing the build. Goodbye!